We continue now at the top of Daf Lamed Beis Amud Aleph in Meseches Gittin. This is Gittin Daf 32a. The Gemara is continuing to explain the pasuk in Hosea. The pasuk says, "Ki hu bein achim yafri," because among the reeds it is fruitful. And the Gemara is going to give three explanations how it has to do with the fact that the eastern wind causes damage. Rava says, even the shufsa bekufina demara rafia. Rashi says, shufsa is beis yad, even the handle. Kufina is the chor shebarosh hamara. That's the hole in the top of the hoe. The idea is that the handle is stuck into this hole at the top of the hoe. And even that rafia, even that is going to loosen. That's what the wind causes to happen. These things separate. Rav Yosef says, afilu sichsa bedafna rafia. Rashi says, sichsa bedafna refers to a yosid shebedofen. Even the peg that is in the wall becomes loose. Rav Acha bar Yaakov says, afilu kanya bekufsa rafia. And Rashi says, kanya bekufsa kana ha'orug bechfifa. It means you have the reed that's woven into the basket. Even that, rafia becomes loose. And Rashi points out, kamo yafri, the word yafra, the word rafia rather, is similar to the word yafri in the pasuk. So that's the drasha that these Amoroim are making. Hadran aloch kol haget. We will return to you parak kol haget. This is the end of the third parak of Meseches Gittin. If you're enjoying these videos and this channel, please like, share, and subscribe, and please take a look at the description box below to see how you can support this channel. And we will now begin the fourth parak of Meseches Gittin. And the Mishnah says, Hasholeach get leishto, if somebody is sending a get to his wife with a messenger, v'higia b'shliach o shesholach achrav shliach, and he himself reaches the shliach, or he sends another shliach after the shliach, v'yomar lo, and he says to the shliach, get shanasati loch, bottle, who that get that I gave you, I'm nullifying it, hareza bottle, that get is nullified. Kida meitzelishto, if he gets to his wife before the shliach gets there, o shesholach etzla shliach, or he sends a shliach to the wife, and that shliach gets there before the shliach with the get, v'yomar lo, and he says to her, get shesholachti loch bottle, the get that I'm sending to you, or that I sent to you is bottle, hareza bottle, that get is bottle. In mishigia get liyada, now once the get reaches her hand, shuv eno yachol levatlo. At that point in time, he can no longer be mevatel the get. Barishona hayaosa bezdin. Originally, he would get a bezdin together, mimakam acher, from a different place. He would not even be in the same location. Umevatlo, and from there he'd be able to nullify the get. Hiskin Rabbi Gamliel hazakin shlu yaosin kain mimnei tikun olam. But Rabbi Gamliel hazakin instituted that they can't do that. They can't be mevatel the get from another location in a bezdin because of tikun olam. That's a benefit for the world not to be able to do that. Rashi says, Barishona lo haya mevatel b'fnei hashliach v'lo b'fnei isha. Originally, he wouldn't be mevatel in front of the shliach or the wife. Ela b'makom sheyomid, he would do it right wherever he was. Haya mevatel b'fnei shlosha, he'd be mevatel in front of three people as a bezdin. But they said not to do that. Mimnei tikun olam shashliach she'enu yodei b'davar molichula v'hinisas bo. The tikun olam is if the shliach doesn't realize it's been nullified and the shliach delivers it to the wife and she uses it to remarry, that could pose problems. And the Gemara says, Higio lo katani. The Mishnah doesn't say that he reached the shliach, meaning, as Rashi says, Higio have a mashmesh rodav acharav isigo. The word Higio would sound like he was purposely trying to catch up to the shliach to stop him from delivering the get. That's not what it says in the Mishnah. Ela Higia just says that he reached him. It could have been that it happened by accident. Va'afilu mamela, he just happens to be that he caught up to the shliach. Rashi says, Va'afilu mamela, shenishto shliach b'derech. Maybe the shliach took a long time on the road. V'hayalo lazed derech l'shav, and this guy was going the same way, and he saw vafilu hachi batal. And the point is, even if he wasn't trying the whole time to be mevatel, he just happens to come across the shliach and he's mevatel. That seems to work according to the Mishnah. V'lo, I mean, we don't say l'tziyurahu dekamechavin. We don't say that he's just saying that. He's just doing it in order to inflict pain on his wife. He's not serious. He's not actually being mevatel the get. It's just something that he's saying. Rashi says, "V'lo amrinon ein b'daito levatel." We don't say that he's not really thinking to nullify the get. He's just saying, oh, it's just to cause her some pain for a month or two, because if he really wanted to be mevatel, surely he would have chased after the shliach. We don't say that. Rather, we take him at his word, and we say that the get is batal. O shesholach acharav shliach. Then it says, let's say the Mishnah says another case, he sends a second shliach after the first shliach to be mevatel the get. Lamali, why do I need that case? Because what might you have said? Lo alima shlichusa de basara, mishlichusa de kama de levatle. Maybe the second shliach should be no better than the first shliach. That should cause a nullification. He sends the first shliach with the get, then he sends a second shliach to be mevatel the get. Who says we should believe the second shliach over the first? Kamash Malon. That's what the Mishnah is teaching us. Then no, the second shliach can be mevatel the get. Kadam hu etzel ishto lamali. Why does the Mishnah have a case where he gets to the wife before the the shliach. Ma'u detema, because what might you have said? Maybe we don't say that he's just saying it to cause her pain. That's if he says it to the shliach. But if he's going to her and telling her that it's batal, certainly he's just trying to cause her pain. Kamash Malon comes to teach us, no, again, we take him at his word. He's really being mevatel the get. And then it said that if he sends her a shliach and the second shliach gets to her before the first shliach, why do we need that case in the Mishnah? Because what might you have said? He himself is not going to go and bother to reach her just to cause her pain. But to send a shliach, what does he care to send a shliach? There's no tircha. Certainly it's no tircha for him, so what does he care if the shliach has to be metarech? That's for sure just to cause her pain. Kamash Malon, again, the Mishnah teaches us, we take him at his word and we say that the get is batel. Then the Mishnah said, once the get reaches her, he can no longer nullify the get. Pshita isn't that obvious. The Gemara says, lo no tzrich, it's needed. The Mishnah's line over there is needed. Because from the beginning, he was trying to get her to be mevatel. Maybe you'll say, retroactively, we see that really he had been mevatel it all along. So it's teaching us, no, that is not the case. If it reaches her first, and he only then, afterwards, he gets her to mevatel it, so then it's not going to be batel. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. Tanu Rabbanan, the rabbis taught, batel hu efshibo devarav kayabin. If he says it's nullified, I don't want it, that's an effective way of being mevatel the get, and what he says is going to work. Puzzle who, but if he says the get is puzzle, ain't no get, or he says it's not a get, lo amar klum, that doesn't mean anything, because there he's essentially saying that it's not a good get, when really it is a good get, and so therefore that's not going to be effective. The Gemara now says, L'meimra de batel lishna de levatel mashma. Does this mean to say that the word batel, what he means to say when he says the word batel, he doesn't mean to say that it is batel, he means to say that he is making it batel right now. Is that what we're trying to say? V'amar Rabba bar Evo amar Rav Sheshes, but Rabba bar Evo said that Rav Sheshes said, V'amrila, and some say, Amar Rabba bar Avua, that Rabba bar Avua said as follows, Mekabel matana sha'amar la'achar shabasa matana liyado. Let's say a person receives a gift, and after he gets the gift, he says, Matana zu mevuteles, that this matana is batel, ti batel, efshibor, he says it should be batel, I don't want it, lo amar klum. That doesn't count for saying anything, that does not work. But beteilahi ain't a matana, but if he says it's batel in that kind of phrasing, or it's not a matana, devarav kayamin, so that is effective. And Rashi says, Lo Amar Klum means as follows. In the first cases, so he actually merits it against his will. He has now received the matana. And the nafkamina is, let's say there's a creditor that he owes money to, he now has this property, he now has this matana, and now the creditor can take it. Now the point over here is, all of the languages, those first languages, Lashon Asidhein, those are like a future. He's saying it should be batel. And v'hoel v'kibla, but since he's already received the matana, he can't retract, he can't say that's not going to work. But beteilahi, what is beteilahi? Mashma beteilah haisa mikodim shekibalti. That means that it was nullified from before I ever got it. Hodoas baldin kamei edim dami. That's essentially, that uses the principle of hodoas baldin. When the person admits that he owes something, or he admits that something's not his, that's like 100 witnesses. Varei omer, essentially he's testifying. Shelo zacha ba. He's saying, I never got it, it was never mine. V'chozeres l'nosein, therefore it goes back to the nosein. In other words, the later languages, when it's beteilahi or eina matana, again, these later statements that are made by Rabba bar Avua, there it's a testimony that it was never a gift, and that works. We have a similar case later on, that a hodoas baldin is like me'edim v'hainami. Damar b'tei lahaisa mikodem lachen namon. He's essentially saying b'tei lahaisa, and that means to say from beforehand. And so the Gemara now says, what do we see from this statement of Rabba bar Avua by Mekabel Matana? Alma batel meikara mashma. Here, the word batel, when he's saying beteilahi, when he's saying batel, that means it was batel. It doesn't mean that he's making it batel now. And that's exactly the opposite of what we're saying by get, because by get we're saying batel hu means that right now he's making it batel, not that it was batel. And the Gemara answers, Amar Abaye, Abaye says batel, the word batel, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Lamed Beis Amud Beis.